Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Rooted Podcast. I'm so excited today. I finally have Mr. Slade Johnston on this podcast. It has been a bit of a whirlwind getting him on, but it's a busy time of year for all of us. But this dude has done, I don't know anything, Slade, that you haven't done, man. We got Trips for Trade, Grand Slam Outdoors, this Cooler Comrade. Am I saying that right?
Yep, Cooler Comrade, yep.
I mean, dude, he's got a patent. I mean, this dude he's got a master's degree. He did go to Alabama, so I don't know how good it is. I'm just
We're
joking.
not a playoff team,
Yeah. Well, listen, we trust me. We're going to give you crap about that, okay? Go Big Orange. But, I mean, this guy has done everything. I'm super excited to dive into all that. But, Slade, before we get into you, buddy, okay, the world ain't about me and you all the time. Ben, you got some words for us. Let's go, buddy.
All right, guys. In the spirit of holiday season and the Christmas coming up, we're going to talk about the birth of Jesus, Luke 2, chapter 2, starting at the end of verse 4. So Joseph traveled from the village of Nazareth in Galilee. He took with him Mary, to whom he was engaged, who was now expecting a child. And while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born. She gave birth to her firstborn son. She wrapped him in snuggly strips of cloth and laid him in a manger because there was no lodging available for them. So I think this is a pretty awesome story to look at because the Savior of the world was born into nothing. He was born into the least of all, and he was greater than all. And I think that is just a beautiful thing to look at going into this holiday season. As having God is better than anything this world can give you. It doesn't matter. Christ is the best option for everything, and we are greatly thankful for all the opportunities he's given us with this podcast, the show, and friendships like Slade. Me and Slade have been friends for a long time now. We've had some cool hunting adventures together, and I appreciate you and all that you've done for me in the past, and glad to have you on.
Absolutely, man. I love that. I think it's awesome y'all start with that because that's we got to keep that at the center of everything we do, man. We're very much believers in that, and we're worth nothing without him. So we're all super blessed, man.
That's the truth. So
Absolutely.
I gotta know, how did you meet up with this hairy feller? I mean, how did this happen?
Let's give old Blake Dial a shout on that one. I think.
Yeah, old Blake.
He's one of my best friends and runs a kind of small scale outfitter in West Alabama, and he's a killer now. You don't put him a turkey in his path, or it's a bad day to be a turkey now. But I think Ben was coming down there and doing some content and stuff, and he just connected the dots and came over and hung with us one morning, and then Ben came back later on and killed a nice buck. I think he had him mounted somewhere.
Yeah. I'm looking at him right across the office here.
Yeah. One of the nicer bucks that's been killed on our farm, man. It was a beautiful deer. Yeah. So we just stayed in touch over the years, and everybody's obviously gets busier and busier. But
yeah, man.
I think that's the cool thing about the industry, man. You might not talk to everybody, but one or two times at a trade show every year. But hey, that friendship's still there. If you need something, you can call on me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man. We just pick up right where we left off, and I was thinking earlier today about when me and you and Blake were turkey hunting, and that hog came across the field right at daylight. I thought, because one of y'all said, "Why don't you shoot that pig?" And I thought, man, that's not a bad idea, but I don't want to screw up the turkeys because it was right there when they were about to start gobbling. And I thought, I don't know. Will this bird shot kill that turkey? I don't know. Or that hog? I don't know. But, man, I can just relive that and just see that hog going across that field. And I was like, man, I probably should have killed somebody. Somebody should have killed that pig.
Yeah. Man, they have become worse than a problem around here. It's we got to figure some trapping out or something. With us moving back down here, hopefully we can spend a little more time working on them. But it's it's frustrating.
It's a big deal down there in Alabama.
Yeah, they're just overpopulated like crazy. At least we can swap some trips out. We do a lot of swaps with hogs, so we can get a little value out of them. But,
yeah, right.
And they eat good. I mean, the smaller ones and all, you eat them, and we donate some to some of the families around here, and they'll eat them too. So
nice.
There's some good out of it. It's just they're overpopulated.
Yep. And it happens quickly. Hogs can populate very, very quickly, and then they take over. People don't realize that. You know how devastating a hog can be. If you get a handful of them in there and they start reproducing, it's bad news for all your farmers. Terrible news. It's bad for everybody. It's not just the farmers, it's everybody. I mean, when I live,
animals and
yes, absolutely, because they're nasty creatures. Nasty.
a little vacuum eating all the acorns and corn and everything else. The deer are having to look twice as hard to find food, but
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
man,
exactly right.
all good.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So you kind of mentioned trading trips there. Is that kind of how this whole trips for trade thing started? One day you just traded a trip with a buddy, or is it a little more elaborate than that?
Yeah, man, I'll go into the backstory on it. We've done a bunch of podcasts in the past on this, kind of telling the story. So it's if you heard it before, bear with me. But it's a super intimate story. I grew up on the farm here, and my grandfather was an avid outdoorsman and conservationist and big turkey hunter. And I guess he's one of probably the first few that kind of got into turkey hunting in Alabama. You know, he's one of the local legends, the OGs. And so we had always talked about doing the Grand Slam and chasing turkeys out of state together. And he kind of said once I got to college that we would start doing that together. My senior year of high school, he got sick, and then my freshman year of college, he passed away, and that was my best friend, my hunting buddy. That was the toughest loss I've ever had, and so we, didn't ever get to travel out of state, but so kind of in memory of him, my dad was like, well, look for a few outfitters, and me and you'll go on some trips, kind of start your Grand Slam. Started looking at it, and I was like, man, this is going to be a $10,000 deal for me and Dad both, and all the traveling on. It's just, I didn't want to ask him to pay for that, and I definitely couldn't afford it. So we're like, but we're blessed with incredible resource here. We already love sharing it with folks, and we got really good hunting here at the farm. And so I was like, why don't we just swap a trip? So I found a little the app's not even active anymore, but old hunting app, and saw a guy had posted a picture of a bunch of Miriams in Colorado, and messaged him, and I said, hey man, you want to come kill a eastern in Alabama, and me and my dad come kill a Miriam out there? And he said, man, I don't really care to travel to turkey hunt. He said, but I hear y'all have hogs in Alabama. Any chance I can come shoot a hog and bring his son? And I was like, absolutely. Come kill all of them, And so he came, him and his son killed their first hogs. And me and my dad went out there and started the Grand Slam and found a big old elk shed he let us bring home. And
Cool.
it turned into, he's one of my best friends now. He's a bit older than me, but still one of my best friends. And we stay in touch, and we hunt together every year. And unfortunately, it's, I get out there, I'm a little more flexible than him. I get out there more than he gets down here, but I've got to go on some really cool trips, mule deer hunts. I've killed an elk out there with my bow, and he still comes when he can, and hog and maybe deer, duck hunt here with us, and just hang out, and bring his kids, and kind of get away and experience a little southern hospitality down this way.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, to just kind of wrap it up, man, that was the initial idea and how it started. I was going through business school at Alabama at the time, and we, kind of thought we were onto something here and saw there was a need, and there was really only forums out there to do this, which didn't have any credibility. And we're like, we could build something that has a little more credibility than just a forum where everybody's username is Buck Slayer or something, and it's like, let's add some descriptions and photos and a little accountability and some barriers to entry there. And so we started Trips for Trade, and we pitched it in a school competition, and we ended up winning a good bit of money with that. And they gave us office space, and the university invested in us, and we raised more money and kind of went off to the races there. So,
wow.
So now we've got Trips for Trade. It's a membership model, and we got trips in all 50 states and about 15 different countries now. So just about anywhere you want to go, we've got something pretty cool to do there. And that was the kind of at the same time we had started Grand Slam Outdoors, which was more of a brand, kind of the overarching parent company, if you will. And
Gotcha.
we sold some hats and T-shirts just to self-fund the initial prototype, basically the MVP for Trips for Trade, and getting it off the ground and until it could have the legs to kind of stand on its own and create its own LLC and all. So anyways, a lot of business stuff there, but
I love it, dude.
We've been hustling for a long time, and I've just super passionate, man. Got other businesses as well, and real estate, and kind of anything outdoors related. We film with Sequin guys some, and help those guys on the business side a little bit. And it's been, any way I can kind of keep my hands on something hunting related, I'm interested in it. So a lot of irons in the fire, but we're having fun.
Well, that's just part of the fun, right? It's just, some days my wife's like, "Do you not have enough to do?" I'm like, "I don't know, honey. We're just doing it, And that's just, whenever you find something like that and realize that it's scalable, that's got to be a pretty exciting feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, man, it's a neat business. It's very, very low maintenance. We're still trying to figure out how to grow it quicker, but it's all, with any business, that's always a struggle. But still growing and adding new trips and members, and seeing people have successful swaps, and just some of the cool testimonies, man. Even if it don't ever get any bigger than it is right now, it's what it's already done for folks. And we've got some guys that have became best friends and business partners, and I've just seen some really cool success stories out of the relationships and experiences people have had on the site.
That's awesome.
That's one of the things I love to talk about most when it's hunting related is anytime you get to spend out in the woods with like-minded men, you forge a friendship that is not soon going to be let go, or, it's usually very, very solid, and you're going to be friends for a lifetime.
Yep. Well, that's what's cool about this is even people are matching on their similar interests, and that's something they want to do. And it's obviously, if somebody else already has it, it's something they enjoy doing. So obviously you'll have some personalities that don't always just mesh just perfectly, and that might be a one and done swap, but majority of our guys are, creating friendships and probably do year after year trades with each other.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think that's a wonderful platform. I think that is Trips for Trade, guys. If you want to trade for a hunt, or y'all even do more than hunts on Trips for Trade, am I right?
Yeah, so when we kind of back to the business side, we were trying to think, how can we be different? There really wasn't anything out there that combined multiple different categories. And man, really, I built it for me. I built it for my passions, and we're passionate about any kind of outdoor adventures, whether that's fishing, hunting, snowboarding or whatever. Don't get to do that often, but I enjoy doing it, and going to sports games and stuff. And so I'd swapped Alabama football tickets for offshore fishing trips, and, just a way to kind of leverage whatever asset you had to go on a really cool trip. So we combine those multiple different categories. It's actually where the number 4 in the logo comes from, is outdoors, adventure, vacation, and sports are kind of our categories. And there's a lot of overlap. Our core customer is an outdoorsman, somebody that likes to hunt and fish, but they might not have any property or anything. They might have property they can trade, but maybe they have a beach condo or lake house they can trade, or season tickets to, their company gives them to a sports game or something, that they can leverage. So nice. That's kind of how we focus on who we try to get on the platform.
That's outstanding. I think that's great. I think it's great. I think that is awesome. But I have to ask, what is your favorite hunting story from this year? I want to hear about
this year.
Is it ducks? Have you duck hunted any? Is it deer? What's your favorite go-to right now?
Man, we have been busting our tail in Illinois this year. We're hunting public land. I've done 77 sits in Illinois this year. Had some really cool hunts, had some close calls. We're bad about this last several years, especially getting involved with Sequin guys. Bad about targeting one deer. And so that's hard to do on public land and be successful. So I've passed some nice deer. I've passed some probably 140-inch deer, maybe even 150 on public already. It's like, not that I wouldn't be happy to shoot those deer on public, but it's like when I'm locked in on this one deer, I just want to see it all the way through. And but there are two bucks that I'm after up there, and they're just playing the chess match better than I am. We've had some really fun hunts, but I haven't got it done. Macy's been hunting with me too. She's got a couple deer that she's after as well. And so we'll get up there and she'll go one way, I'll go the other. And, we're just kind of hoping one of us can get it done, and we'll call it a team success. But yeah, man, I had just, specific story where I'm hunting this one deer. It's on like a cut cornfield. I took a decoy with me. First year I've ever used a decoy. And so I was kind of hesitant to do it. I was worried it might spook everything if the timing's not right. And I put it out. I'm hunting from the ground because there's not a good spot to hunt from a tree right here. So I brushed in a really really deadly little ground blind in the middle of a briar thicket. And it was kind of fun anyways, just brushing in there. The decoy is only like 10 yards from me. I was like, I want them to get in bow range if it's going to happen. And this old bully buck came in there, and he's probably 140 inches. I mean, he's an awesome buck, just mature buck. If I didn't know the other deer around, I would have shot him all day long. And he came in there and he got arm's reach from my little ground blind, squaring up on that decoy, and started, raking his leg, scraping the ground with his leg, like almost making a scrape, and getting ready to charge, and, just bristled up. And to be at ground level with no blind, nothing in between you, and that deer is at 3 yards, that was a lot of fun, man. That was one of my favorite hunts this year for sure.
You have a lot more hold off than me, because I would have killed that deer.
Yeah, I don't kill a lot, Dan, actually. I'm pretty dang picky, and it leads to not killing a lot of stuff. But we have some fun encounters, and we chase them pretty hard. We chase some big deer, and, a lot of times the big deer win. So, but that's part of my passion, man. We, like I said, grew up on the farm, very fortunate to kill the pile of animals here growing up. And so for me, it's about the pursuit of one target buck and trying to outsmart him.
I get that.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So I love what you said there about Macy, and you kind of, a team effort. You guys are really fixing to be a team for real now, right?
Yeah, man. We got engaged in October, getting married in May. So we're going to move into the house. Yeah, it's the end. Alabama will be out end of May. So there'll be still some in places. We might do a little turkey hunting, fly fishing honeymoon or something. I don't know.
There you
go. That's kind of our speed. We're not good at just sitting around. We like to be on the go doing something.
I heard that.
Anyways, we are going to be probably not traveling quite as much this spring because we're planning a wedding, but
I've been there, buddy.
We'll still be hunting in Alabama every day, if nothing else.
Oh, that's amazing, exactly, dude. Right. Congratulations to that. Yes. Seriously, your life's going to change for the better forever, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Sure will.
Appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to it. We just a lot of got the core values and qualities that we're looking for in each other, man. So we're super excited about just having hopefully an impactful life and making a difference and having fun along the way.
It's all we can do.
I think y'all have done a pretty good job of that so far too.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're very intentional about making the most of every day. So
absolutely. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean,
yep.
If you're not living to live, then what are you living for? So speaking of being intentional, I've got to know, dude. I've been wondering this all day when I knew that this podcast was going to happen. I'm not going to lie. I've met some people that have had patents, but I've never talked to someone about how it works. It's got to be tedious and awful. It can't be all sunshine and rainbows. Or is it?
I don't think there's anything fun about it, except for your personal bragging rights that you got it at the end. I mean, for me as a kid and, growing up with Shark Tank and, seeing that all the time, it's always just been a personal goal. I just wanted to have a patent, and big idea guy. I've got a ton of ideas, got a ton we still want to eventually do in my lifetime. So it wasn't, it was just a personal goal, and, had the idea for the koozies. And when I was in high school, and we actually my goal was just to sell it to Yeti. I was just going to call Yeti and try to sell it to them. And I didn't have a clue how everything worked, but I actually got introduced to Roy, one of the original founders. He connected me with an SVP, and this is, right into college. And I'm thinking, like, this is it, this is easy. And they were like, yeah, unless you have a patent, owe you anything if you tell us what your idea is. Like, there's no promises here, where they actually wanted me to sign a disclosure agreement saying they could use it however they wanted to without owing me anything. And so I was like, so this is how the big dogs play.
Yeah.
Let me take a step back and revisit this. So we ended up applying for the patent and taking it to market ourselves, and that was in 2018. We just got a patent this year, so 6 years getting the patent. Had a lot of a lot of pushback, but there's just so much dead time in that. Like, you get pushback from designs or whatever, and then it could be 6 months before they look at it again. And so it's like just a lot of dead time and trying to make it happen, but still pretty cool, man. We had a patent attorney that was kind of about on the edge of retirement. He's retired now. He just liked giving back to kind of the small guys and helping them out, making it affordable for them. And he kind of just had fun, a little passion for him. And so thankfully found him, and he made it cheap. I actually drafted the original patent document myself using some examples he had sent me. And so that saved me a couple grand in attorney fees. And then he went in there and made wherever he saw errors, he kind of fixed them and kind of tidied it up a little bit. So yeah, it was a cool experience, man. I don't ever want to do it again myself, but it was cool to do it once. And we'll hopefully be able to afford to pay somebody to do it the next time. But,
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, man, it's.
So I mean, what is it other than a koozie? I mean, I get it's a koozie. It fits on the, the cooler. Is that pretty much the extent of it?
Yeah, we just got the slit in the bottom of the koozie, and it goes, it goes on the latches of the Yetis or any other cooler models that have those little T-grips on the front. Like I said, super simple, does everything the normal koozie does. It's a high-quality neoprene. We can do magnetic ones. We can do the slims, the bottles. We can offer anything. We've got licensing with Mossy Oak and Real Tree, so we can offer anything any other company can. And we just, that's our focus, is like we're the koozie guys in that business, and really target the outdoor industry. We do most of the outdoor industry koozies, and trying to just keep growing that. It kind of runs itself a little bit. We've got Olivia runs that business for me, and she does a great job, and just kind of keeping people when they need reorders, keep them ordering, and getting introduced to new people to order more, and make sure they got what they need for trade shows, and let it keep growing.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome, man. I think that's pretty awesome about the patent. And I have to say, those koozies are probably my favorite on the market. And I'm not just saying that because you're my buddy, but I like that ability to just clip it on your cooler there and just rock on and you're good. Now I don't know about going down the road at 70 miles an hour. I'm sure it would hold on, but
they do actually. We did some testing on that. It'll hold pretty good. Now, if you let it sit out there for 6 months, it's a $2, $3 koozie. You let it sit out there for 2-3 months, it's going to start stretching and not being as good a material, or not holding up as long. But yeah, initially it'll ride in the boat, it'll ride in the back of the truck, and it'll handle the wind. And we measured the dimensions of the slit very intentionally to try to make sure it wouldn't just fly off there, but you could easily pull it off if you wanted to. So that's just a little added feature, versus in the drawer at the house when you get ready and you don't have it, you want it, it's right there by your cold beverages of choice.
That's right.
There you go.
That's exactly
I think that's super cool, getting a patent. That's just neat. Because I don't know if you know this, I too went to business school, not at some big fancy University of Alabama, but I did go to business school.
One of the football schools, probably, huh? One of the better football teams.
No, Lord, no, God, no. I went to Middle Tennessee State. That's where I went. Good old MTSU. No, but speaking of football, we can dive into this. I mean, obviously, if people can't tell, you're a big old Roll Tide fan. You guys. Hey, listen, you had to run Saban. Everybody knows the story. Everybody gets it. Y'all were great.
Yep.
You beat the crap out of everybody.
You fell off.
Now the tide has turned, my friend. I mean, so I've been waiting to ask you, how mad are you that the 3-loss Crimson Tide didn't make it in, didn't squeeze in the 12 team?
It's tough, man. We thought we're just used to, even if it doesn't make sense on paper, we just figure out a way to get in there. I think that's the Saban effect, but the times have changed a little bit now, so I don't know. It's been fun too. Macy and I joke, she's a big Georgia fan, but also kind of always been a Saban fan at the same time. And so I've converted her as a hybrid, and I guess she's kind of converted me as a little bit of a Georgia fan if Alabama's not in the running. So
yeah,
there you go.
Like this year.
So now I can cheer for her team a little bit, even though sometimes you get death threats doing that, but it's all right.
Hey, listen. People just have to get over it. And listen. As a Tennessee fan, I'm 26 years old. Last 26 years, Slade, they haven't been too good, brother. We've been struggling a lot. Yeah. So if I get one year to poke some fun at an Alabama fan, then, I know the next 20 may not go my way. But if this year's going good, I'm going to take it while I got it.
Same for being an Auburn fan. We lose a lot. I mean, we are constantly on the losing train.
but somehow find a way to play your best against Alabama most years.
I know it all the time.
I mean,
dude.
what's that? Where's that the rest of the season? Why can't we give an Alabama effort to everybody else? I don't get it. Blows my mind
Alabama
every
goes
year.
into Jordan Hare, and we're all about to have panic heart attacks or something. It's like it don't matter how good the team is. Auburn's showing up.
Yeah, they are
no
every time.
doubt.
Every time. It's a game every single year. Well, what kind of y'all got any more cool hunts coming up, or y'all going back to Illinois in January, or what y'all got planned for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're kind of a little crazy the next couple of weeks with this moving stuff and holidays. I'm after a big deer in Tennessee. I actually had him in just out of bow range last week. It's I got this season goes out early January, so I don't even know if I'll be able to get back. I'm kind of watching the camera on edge to see if he shows back up. Might have to buzz up there for a day or two, but yeah, besides that, really probably just back to Illinois for late season. Try to catch these deer, figure out if I can find a pattern on them coming to food, any kind of late season food source. And I'll try to seal the deal there. And got a nice setup in Ohio. Deer I'm watching up there. Really my next year deer. Hopefully, if he makes it, it's a heck of a deer. Right now, it'd already be the biggest deer I've ever killed. But I'm kind of just watching him, keeping tabs on him, and hoping another one will roll in. I can go hunt up there. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to see if that deer will live to next year because he could be something special. But so that's about it, man. We'll do a little hunting here around the farm in Alabama. But once you start chasing these Midwest deer, you lose a little bit of the drive or anticipation of a big buck walking out here. But we'll still have fun, and especially try to get Macy a buck or two before it's all over with. Just have some fun. We're taking my little nephews are getting into hunting, so we're taking them.
There you go.
Nice.
Just have some fun with it.
Man, that's awesome. Well, if you do end up driving up to Tennessee, don't tell anybody where you're going, but I'm in Franklin now, so I'm just south of Nashville by about 20, 30 minutes. So
yeah,
I'd love to see you grab some lunch. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been up here for about 5 years now. So we got a big farm here and do a pile of hunting up here too. So, man, whenever you're in this area, I'd love to see you. I'd love to take you to lunch or breakfast or whatever.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, we'll have to connect. We passed through there a good bit. So
I would say that Ben is the only guy from Boaz, Alabama to move out of Boaz, Alabama.
Especially to Franklin. You changing things up on your hometown.
You talk about 180, dude. Holy cow. I'm just joking. I love Boaz. I've been there. I love the people there. I live in Crossville, Tennessee. Where's that? Yeah, that's exactly. Where is that's my point.
There's a big deer not far from you up there.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of big deer here in Franklin.
There's plenty big deer in this state that people don't really know about.
We got quite a few acres tied up for those old whitetail and turkeys.
Yeah, man, it's a special. I would say of all the traveling we do, Middle Tennessee is one of my favorite places to hunt. Man, it's a good for turkey and deer. It's just game rich and beautiful country, and so we do spend a lot of time up there. And I just got my real estate license for Tennessee too, so we're helping some guys look for some land up there, and so we'll be spending a good bit more time up there with working some deals. And
how'd you get into real estate, man?
Honestly, we were raising money for Trips for Trade, and one of the local brokers here that I work for, or have my license with right now, Walter Tutt. I was pitching him to invest in Trips for Trade, and he's like, man, he started learning about it. He's like, dude, you're working with a lot of landowners. You're real well connected with hunters and outdoorsmen. He's like, you'd have the recipe for success in the land business. So he kind of started recruiting me a little bit, and I was planning to just get my license and refer everything out and kind of make a little extra money on the side because I really don't pay myself anything from the businesses, and so that was going to kind of pay the bills, hopefully. But man, it's turned into a lot of fun. It really fits very naturally into everything we got going on, and a lot of crossovers with our relationships. And it's been super blessed, man. It's changed things financially for us, which has been just an awesome blessing and allowed us to bless others and trying to keep it rolling. So right now in Alabama, but I'll just finished up Tennessee license. So I got to get all that stuff kind of finalized, and we'll get a Mississippi license probably next and keep rolling with it.
Nice.
Outstanding. Well, we got a big lodge here. Y'all need to come check out, hang out, maybe try to kill a turkey, something like that. And got a fine spot up here for it. Sure do. We kill a pile of them. We got a
Say
pile.
turkey, and it's I might be there.
Well, I may drop a little secret. Hopefully, at the end of deer season, we're going to start banding turkeys on our farm with the TWRA.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we want to track them and see how far they go during turkey season. So, and we got a pile of them. I mean, a bunch of them. It's ridiculous.
Maybe with a live tracker on it, you'll be able to kill one. You know?
That's the truth. Especially if I was hunting in Alabama. Good night. I'll tell you, man, I hunted so hard in Alabama last year. I hunted for like 10 days straight, and I did not kill a turkey. And it made me so angry. I came back here, and we killed 4 in 2 mornings.
It's a different world when you cross that state line, man.
It absolutely is, man. It is a crazy world up here, man, for those turkeys. I mean, they're responsive. They actually gobble well, and you get down to Alabama, and they're just lockjaw.
Yep.
They just
the flocks y'all have, man, the numbers just seem to be really just way different. Seem to be really good from my perspective, but it's unreal.
Well, that's one thing that we've implemented on our farms here is a lot of trapping. You know, trying to get the nest predators to a manageable level because, truth be known, you're never going to catch all of them. You never will. But you can at least manage it to where these birds have the opportunity to thrive the best they possibly can. And, you know, we put a lot of effort into planning the food plots, strategically placing these plots in different areas. And I've even got a logger coming in after deer season to open up about 90 acres of food plots on one particular farm and bedding area as well. So it's going to be laid out for success. We had the best whitetail season we've had in history on this farm. As far as deer numbers go, you know, turkeys have been unbelievable success on those. Every year we've had 100% success rate, knock on wood. I know that's gonna change at some point, but for right now, I'm like, hey, let's go. It's running. We're running it. So hopefully we keep that train going. I'm sure it'll change eventually, but I feel like if we keep doing it right and, you know, keep investing the time and the effort into making these properties suitable for turkeys and deer to thrive, then it's only going to get better.
Yep. No doubt, man. That management is key, and that's awesome. Y'all have that in place.
Mm-hmm.
Are turkeys your favorite thing to hunt? You think?
It is, man. I think I kind of describe it as my addiction's strong into turkey and bow hunting, but it's hard to top a successful bow hunt. You know, killing a big whitetail or elk or muley with your bow is kind of the pinnacle. But far as hunting, man, it doesn't beat just the chase of chasing gobbling turkeys. Constant strategy, and obviously you have a lot more success with them typically than you do with deer. It's definitely the actual hunt itself is my favorite.
Well, and of course, the cool part is a lot of people don't really pick out a turkey that you've watched on camera all year long, you know? You just get like, does it have a beard? Cool. Done.
Yeah, we're complete opposite there. We are not picky there.
Exactly.
We'll take what we can get in that department.
Yeah, buddy, no doubt. Absolutely. And, you know, that's a good thing about pigs, too. It's not like, man, I'm going to wait on a 190-inch pig to walk out. So, sir, there's a pig. Yep. Boom! Immediate. No thoughts about it. Yeah. It's awesome.
Once in a while, you need that in life, you know?
Yeah, you do, man. Absolutely. Well, if you have a hankering, let me know. Come up here and we'll do a turkey hunt together and, you know, we'll film it. You can be on as a guest on our show, what we do. And for the turkeys, you know, I don't want to interfere with the deer stuff of what you got going on with those guys, but
sounds like you're busy enough there.
Yeah, but you know, man, you're always welcome with us anytime. You've been great to me over the years, and would love to hunt with you again.
Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, we'll have to try to connect this spring, maybe.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So, hey, I do gotta ask, how did you meet the Seek One dudes, and what do you do there? How does that all work out?
Yeah, so we, man. Let's see. Lee and I got connected at maybe a ATA show right after he killed one of the big deer, and they were up there just trying to get it off the ground, you know, trying to find the first couple sponsors. And I was just getting Trips for Trade off the ground, and actually I was trying to hire him. You know, I was looking for somebody to bring on to Trips for Trade, you know, and I was just talking to it. We just kind of surface level connected there. And then we got connected again through buddy BJ Davis when Lee came to Birmingham to hunt with him. And BJ and I were doing some stuff together. And it was just kind of funny. We were sitting there just sitting around the counter talking. And I was like, I asked him, was he dating anybody? And he's like, no. And he's like, wow, you know somebody? I'm like, well, I do have a friend that's single. I was like, but you don't stand a chance. I said, she is, she can kind of have to pick whatever guy she wants. She's awesome and beautiful girl. And I was like, so yeah, no chance. And he kind of showed him who she was. And he was like, all right. And then afterwards he called me and he's like, I want to meet her. And I said, man, I'll make an introduction, but good luck. Sure enough, we ended up connecting them and they hung out and he played his cards right and got her attention. Anyways, now they're engaged and getting married in this spring as well. So that
How
was
about
kind of,
that?
that was kind of the initial of really just building a relationship and, becoming good buddies and spending a lot of time together. And they were, obviously Seek One turned into just a rocket ship and they were rapidly growing and kind of, neither one of them had really ran a business before and they're kind of doing their own things and just needed a little help. And so coming from a business background, I offered some just general help wherever I could on trying to get some things off the ground, working on the venison project, working on different getting accounting set up and just trying to turning that a YouTube channel into a business and being an extra set of hands and somebody to bounce ideas off of. And then honestly, my real estate started blowing up and I didn't have time to spend as much time with them. So had to take a little bit of a step back on the business side and done a little bit of content with them now. So we still do some filming and all. And if I kill a big deer and we got a cool story, they'll use it. And so kind of like a contractor from that standpoint. But anyways, we're just real good friends and, we hunt a lot together and we're all equally obsessed with chasing these big deer and the stories and what comes with that. So it's been a fun group of guys to call friends and see have the success they're having. So we're
Man,
loving it.
they all seem like great dudes. We met them there in Alabama at that trade show, and I mean they all seem cool. So that's the thing with me with being in the hunting industry is that I've noticed is at least all the good people. There's always some bad apples in there, but most of the time everybody's there to help everybody, and I think that's what really makes this a cool industry because as you know, it's tiny enough as it is. So if you try to make enemies in this thing, it doesn't take long for that to go around.
Yeah, that's something we're same deal. But just try to be super, especially at their scale. Trying to be super careful with how you treat people and what you're associated with, just because it doesn't take long to be, for a reputation to get around the industry. And so, some great guys, man. They try to obviously they can't be there for every single person. They get reached out to a lot for a lot of different things, but they definitely try to give back and help out where they can and make a difference. And they're definitely doing it. So it's cool to watch them have the success they're having.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. I think it's
great.
it's just important to be nice.
It is.
Yep, man. I think it's all just a rat race. If we're just trying to just see what all we can do. Obviously, we all want to be successful and have success.
Right.
Well, there's enough pie to go around, man. There's plenty.
It's about the relationships, and that's something that we really love is the relationships we built in this industry.
Absolutely. Same here. Couldn't agree more with that statement. For sure.
So it looks like, do you have any other businesses that you're going to start? I mean, surely there's one more you could squeeze in there.
No, yeah, we actually are working on another. We've got a provisional patent on another idea for turkey hunting that eventually spin off as its own entity once it gets legs. But still a lot of moving parts for that. The technology's out there. We just got to figure out how to put it all together to do what I want to do with it. And so, and just like I said, being very busy, it's definitely moving at a lot slower pace than I want it to. But yeah, that's kind of my goal, man. Real estate pays the bills, and the other companies, I kind of like to get them to where they can either run themselves or bring somebody in to run the day to day, and eventually, find somebody to partner with to really scale it, or somebody might want to acquire it and take it to the next level and keep a little equity there and start the next thing. That's kind of my dreams. Initially I wanted to grow the biggest company in the outdoor industry, and I realized when you're in that position, you don't get to hunt a lot yourself, and you're really just managing people. And so I'm kind of that starter level. Let me get this thing started, get the idea into fruition, so somebody can see the potential for it, and then try to find somebody that can take it to the next level, and then I'll start the next thing.
Yeah, being the head honcho sometimes isn't all what it's cracked up to be.
That's the truth.
Yep, he can pay off in the long run, but you gotta put in the years of sacrifice and to get it there, and so it's not easy. Nothing easy about it.
No, not at all. Nothing easy about that life at all. Good grief. You ain't lying.
So what, the thing I got to know, you kind of mentioned bow hunting there. When did you kind of make that switch? I've been talking to a few people about this whenever they finally put down the rifle per se. I mean, when did you become kind of, man, I'm gonna try to only hunt with a bow. When did that become a thing?
Yeah, it had to be probably in college. I had never really bow hunted in high school, and then my brother-in-law kind of saw him bow hunting. I thought that was cool, and kind of got into it. And then in college, got connected with some buddies that really avidly bow hunted, and just fell in love with it.
Nice.
And then it just got to, after having some success. I didn't kill my first buck with a bow. I don't know if I killed my first doe with a bow until college, and so, I think once finally started having success, I just got addicted to the chase there, and I could care less if I ever shoot another deer with a rifle. It's it just personal preference, man. I just love that feeling of success with a bow, and it's always something you're learning and trying to get better at and training at.
What are you shooting?
So I'm shooting a Matthews Phase 4 right now.
Nice.
Sequel did a deal with them, and so we're repping the Matthews right now. But yeah, I shot Hoyts in the past, and really love those guys over there and their bows too. And there's a lot of great bows out there. And so that's what we're working with right now.
There you
but
go.
It's it's addicting, man. I think it's, like I said, you have a lot less success, but when you do have success, it's just a
pretty special.
Yeah, ultimate feeling.
Oh yeah, Ben got his biggest deer with a bow this year in Arkansas.
Swamp buck this year with my bow. Yeah,
that's a little sleeper state out there in the swamp.
It is. Little sleeper state there. Got him in velvet.
Heck yeah, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was.
I've heard of some.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I've heard of some guys that kind of capitalize, even on the public land, capitalize on the duck hunters to get some deer moving in their direction and kill some big swamp deer.
Hey, there are some swamp giants over there. There are. They're hard to hunt, but good night when the stars align. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Man, yeah.
I should have him back by next September. I am ready.
I bet.
I can't wait, man. It was picture perfect. And actually, the day before, I had passed on a deer that ended up scoring more than him. But I was at a buddy's place, and I was like, well, I'm not going to shoot this deer until I get a green light. And he was the age, he was 6 years old, every bit of 5, if not older, and had everything. I thought, well, I know that he's an old enough deer, but I'm going to wait and just see. And he was like, dude, why didn't you kill that deer? I was like, oh gosh. No. So the last afternoon before I was coming back to Tennessee, he was like, you want to go again? I said, yes, I do. And man, I was sitting there and I saw some movement in the brush. And the crazy thing is the doe had already blown, and I don't know what she was blowing at because the wind was right in my face and she was in front of me and she was looking the other way. So I was like, man, this ain't no good. And lo and behold, here they come. I see some movement in the dense brush. A younger buck comes out, and I was like, oh, cool, man. This is awesome. Got some action. And then I look up, and I was like, what's happening, big dog? He come out of there just bowed up. I was like, yeah, there you are.
I've seen that man.
Dude, it was exhilarating. I got the green light on him, and I let him have it. It was awesome. He didn't go 50 yards. He didn't go 50.
Awesome.
It was fantastic. I was so full of adrenaline. I drug that deer out by myself and threw him in the bed of the truck by myself.
Well, let's don't argue. You big old boy now.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, dude. Jesus, man.
Well, I was jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
everyone else is 6'5", built like a brick house. Sorry.
Gosh.
You know, man, the thing is I was so excited because that was my first Arkansas buck, my first buck in velvet, and the biggest buck I've ever taken with my bow. So I was just ramping on all cylinders. And
You
my
get
buddy's like, I'll
fired
be
up,
there in a
Slade?
minute.
'Cause
Dude,
Ben gets
and
fired up.
I do. I pull a muscle on my back every time. Every time. I do. Every
That's
single
great,
time.
man.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, man, I do.
Well,
I sure
what about
do.
you, John? Any luck yet this
You
season?
know, not so. The only cool thing that I have going for me, no big
He
bucks,
could
nothing
have.
like that this
He
year.
should have killed a deer.
I should have. Listen, this is what happened. Okay, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, what had happened was I was sitting in this shooting house over this food plot. It was open weekend, a muzzle loader, and that time of year in Tennessee, I've killed a lot of deer with a muzzle loader. It's just a special time of the year. And so anyway, I'm watching this field. A few does come out, and then this young, real young buck comes out, and I'm like, okay, this, and it was pretty early. It was like only like 3:00. We still had a few hours to go. I'm thinking, all right, this is gonna be something. And dude, funny enough, the camera caught it before I even got my eyes on it. I was watching this other deer, and this big old 7-pointer come out. Deer, dude, sagging belly, and it's cool. Right between his shoulder blades is like a white patch, so we call them patch. And dude, I see this deer, and I'm like, again, I'm not at my place. Listen, if that deer was in Crossville, Tennessee, every redneck I know would be shooting that thing from any way we could. But I'm like, all right, I'm at a buddy's farm. I'm like, I have to make sure that this deer is, good to go. So I'm looking through the binos and looking and deciding, and it's just hanging out. It's chasing a little, nothing crazy. And finally, I'm like, all right, John, just shoot the deer and live with what happens after it. And dude, I just pull up and I click, the hammer back, and the does kind of trot away, and that buck just went after them does. And then I was like, oh my goodness, dude, this is terrible. So, I thought it's over. This is it. I just missed that opportunity. Well, in this nice food plot to the left of me is like a hillside, and it's all tall grass, like, stupid tall. And I'm like, I'm gonna try to call that deer back. So I snort, wheeze, and I grunt, and I'm just making a ruckus. And sure enough, dude, he freaking comes back, and I'm like, no way, this is so cool. Well, I should have done what you did and bring a decoy, and I didn't. And yeah, dude, he stayed in that tall grass. I could just like see his neck, like head, horns. He never did give me a shot. And dude, after that, this season, Slade, I've done a lot of taking people. My wife's uncle, a family friend. I've gotten a bunch of people on their first deer. The one dude, he just shot this little spike, but man, you would have thought he shot a 200-inch deer. It was his first deer in 30-something years. The last time he went, it's just these kind of stories. Like, the last time he went was with his dad. His dad died when he was young. It's cool stories like that. That's what I've done a lot of this year. I really haven't hunted a lot for myself. That's been, I've maybe sat, I don't know, dude, 5 or 6 times for me. And I've sat, 100 times for other people. So, I don't know why this year I just I don't know. It's meant more to me to do that. But with all that said, the past 4 days, I've had a pretty decent deer daylight, and he keeps daylight like twice a day. And I'm like, all right, I'm nice, but I'm not an idiot, So, I believe this weekend that hopefully, if ever the stars align, that deer's going to hit the dirt. So that's kind of my game plan there.
Well, Slade, he left out a little portion of that story a minute ago.
Hey, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell the whole truth. You know what I'm saying? Slade, you've been there.
You just skimmed it. So he came back to the lodge and showed me that video, and I looked at John and I said, why did you not shoot that deer? I was like, what? I was like,
I had him on video for like 5 minutes.
Every day of the week. Like, no questions asked. Kill that deer. So I have been giving him a hard time ever since about not killing that deer. Has been awesome.
I tried, whenever I decided it was too late. And then, you think anybody's seen that deer since that day? No, of course not. Why would you? Yeah, great. Fantastic.
She's going to just get older and older.
I'm thinking, hey, next year, Patch, he's going to have double the horn and double the size patch. That's what I'm hoping.
There you go.
There you go. Make a little pie ball in him there. You know, that's the crazy thing about the deer at that farm down there. We've got several that I've named Socks and like Socks Junior and stuff like that because they have white that comes all the way up to their first joint of their front legs. And I actually killed one the other day. There's two of them that are I consider coal bucks. One side's perfect. The other side comes up and is just a fork. Big old blade, thick, heavy mass fork.
Yeah.
And then he's got a brother that's identical to him. He just has one more point that comes off the back. It's unbelievable. And there's two of them, exactly the same genetic, exactly the same structure. Turns out I ended up killing one the other day. That episode will be coming out soon, but it was pretty wild. Shot him at 12:30 midday. It was awesome. Yeah. We were just sitting out there filming a commercial in the shooting house. I look over and I was like, there's deer. Turns out he hit the dirt. Man. Yeah, man. So it's pretty cool, man. But we'd love to have you up here sometime. So you and Macy both, man. Y'all can come up, hang out, and we'd have a good time.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
Hey, one real quick thing before I know we're kind of getting into the wee hours here. You said you're a big turkey hunter and that's your favorite thing. Have you ever planted chufa? I ask this question to everybody. Have you ever planted chufa for turkeys?
Not here at our farm because of the hogs.
Really?
Yeah. Hogs will destroy chufa. Yes, they do.
I've hunted some chufa fields that other people have planted, and I know turkeys love them, but we hadn't even wasted our time with it because of how bad the hogs are here.
I'll be daggum. I didn't realize. I guess they just tear it up, huh? They love it just as
much
as the turkeys.
Root it all up and just attracts them in there, man. Wow. And especially with that kind of prime time, there's we typically don't, unless we're summer planting and all. We really don't have a lot else for them to eat on right there, so they pile in on chufas from what I hear.
As I'll tell you, dude, it's a cheat code over here. It should be legal.
It is.
I'm like, this is legal, right? I mean, no one's stopping me from doing this. This is crazy. It's insane, man.
We've talked about it, and even moving back down here, might try to fence off a couple acres or something, and have a low fence that the hogs hopefully won't get over and plant some stuff like that.
It's a good idea.
But, just
electric fence works too on them pigs. Oh, yeah. Zap that nose one good time.
I hope they run the opposite way and not through it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no doubt.
Tear it up, and then the rest of them come in easy.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my goodness.
Well, man, I really hope that this was good for you. I know it was amazing for us this episode, and hopefully we can do this again. And hopefully by the time this episode comes out, Tennessee's about 2 or 3 rounds deep, looking straight to a natty. So that's about what I'm hoping.
I hear you. Well, man, I appreciate you guys having me. It's a lot of fun. Good catching up, and love what y'all doing, man. Love keeping Jesus at the center of it, and
that's what we try to do.
Using it for a little testimony there and witnessing. So keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Absolutely, man. And tell everybody where they can find the Trips for Trade and Cooler Comadre.
Yeah, man. Tripsfortrade.com, coolercomrade.com. Instagram, just social media is just Slade Johnston. You can find anything you want to there. So it's all linked and it's out there. So if you want to find it won't take you long to find it.
There you go. There you go. We got it.
All right. Well, as always, you guys can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the fun places. Remember, we got a merch store, rootedtelevision.com. Click the merch, get you some sweet gear. So, Ben, you got anything else, man?
No, sir. With that, the redneck is out.
See y'all.